Hi, so this Sunday we're going to be doing a kind of different video than the usual Lo-Fi Sunday videos. Normally I just upload like a beat or a track that I've made that has a lo-fi vibe. However, this Sunday is going to be a little bit different. So this weekend I'm participating in something called the 2-Hour Album Challenge. Now, fortunately I don't have to make a whole album in 2 hours, but the idea behind it is that a bunch of different artists are going to submit tracks that they made in 2 hours or less. And then those tracks are all going to be compiled into an album that will be sold for charity. The theme for the challenge this time around is entropy. So my idea was that I was going to record a bunch of different loops, all of different lengths, and all just kind of over one chord, that I would then put those on the SP-404, which I have behind me, and take that and play them back sort of disjointedly, have everything build up and get something kind of chaotic, and then immediately just cut it all back into being a single loop. So with that in mind, this video is going to probably be a little bit unscripted, a little bit rambly, but hopefully it's still going to be entertaining and informative. I chose to use the SP-404 because I love the effects that are built in, and I think it gives me a lot of potential to make some fun, like lo-fi ambient stuff. So with that in mind, I've got a timer on my phone. I'm going to start it. If you hear it go off during the video, that means I did not make the cut and I have failed. Like I mentioned before, I'm just going to do some kind of like simple melody vamps. I'm just searching for my cable. In this case, I'm going to go over the key of C because why not make it as basic as I possibly can? So on the SP-404, I'm going to hit the record button. It says external source, and I'm going to press this little boop right down there. So it's using, I have the guitar going into the mic input. So now you can hear guitar going through the SP-404. And I think I'll just record this onto slot 1. So what I'm going to do is I'll hit record, and there'll probably be a little bit of extra there, which we'll trim off later. So I'm going to hit record, and I'll give it a 1, 2, 3. All right, cool. So we'll come back to that in a little bit, but for now, I'm going to switch up my instrument. Goodbye guitar, hello bass. Now, if you thought the guitar part was really basic, wait until you hear what I'm planning to do for the bass. I'm basically just gonna hit one note and I will let it ring, and then on the SP-404, I'll add some delay. So instead of one note, I'll get a bum, 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 fading out. This time I'll record onto slot 2, and I'm just gonna hit, when I start recording, I'm gonna hit this C. And that'll be the whole bass part. All right, so I'm gonna hit record, it's recording. I'll give it a 1, 2, 3. And you can hear that it clipped a little bit. I'm actually gonna leave that in, give it a little bit of crunch. So my next idea, and feel free to stop me if this sounds crazy, is to use an instrument that is as old as time itself, the electric drill. As I was running around my house looking for things that just make fun sounds, I noticed with this drill that if I pull, I guess this is a trigger, if I pull it really slowly, it'll slowly ramp up in pitch. So I feel like I can make a sort of weird riser out of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit record. I'm going to unplug the line in cable that I have here so that it will use the microphone instead. All right. The SP-404 has a built-in mic right here. You can hear me tapping on it. So this is gonna look really weird. I'm gonna hold the drill up next to the SP-404 and I'm going to record it. And I'll turn off stereo. All right. Whew. Okay, please don't drill a hole in my SP-404. So we're really rolling here. I think next I'm going to add the most ambient and lo-fi of string instruments, the ukulele. This one is actually really special. When my wife and I got married, the ukulele was our guest book, so we've got all the signatures on the back. Please don't dox anyone's information from what I just showed. Anyway, so like we did before, I'm going to use the built-in microphone on here. And I'm going to hit record. This time I'll record to 4, turn on the mic. I'll move this over here so we can hear it a bit better. All right, I'll hit record. 1, 2, 3, 4. don't know if you heard, my cat was meowing to be let into the studio. I can't because he likes to play with the cables, but I guess he's going to be part of our ambient song now. I don't think he's happy that I'm holding him now. So we've recorded the ukulele, we've recorded the guitar and the bass, and now we're going to record an instrument that I can't hold in my hands. It's on the other side of the room. We'll move on over to it. So welcome to the other side of the studio. This is an organ that a couple of friends sold me, I think for like 35 bucks. It is called a Wurlitzer Funmaker 2. I don't really know a lot about organs, so I don't know if this is like really nice or kind of garbage, but I like how it sounds. What's fun about it is that it actually has an arpeggiator. So there's a switch over here that says dancing fingers. Woo! So if I have it turned off, it's going to sound like this. And if I have it turned on, it'll sound like this. So what I'm thinking is I'll record one nice arpeggiation going up, a C major chord. Oops, sorry, cable. And then after that, I'll also just record some stuff in the lower end using the lower keyboard. So we'll start with the arpeggiation. I'm going to hit record. I'm going to record this. I know you won't be able to see, but I'm going to record it into slot 5, and I'm going to make sure I turn on the external mic so that you can actually hear what I'm doing. After that, I'm going to hit record. 1, 2, 3. And there we go. I'm going to record, like I mentioned, just some little noodling in the lower end on this lower keyboard. So like we did before, record. I'm going to make sure I turn on the external mic. I'll go to 6. I'll hit record, and it's recording. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now we've got all the instrument parts. I thought as a fun kind of final ingredient, I would record myself just whispering the word entropy and then add a lot of delay to that. And that'll probably be our last ingredient for this weird lo-fi ambient thing we're doing. So I'm gonna hit record. I'll record to slot 7, turn off stereo. I'm gonna have to get up close and personal. I'll hit record. Entropy. I hope that doesn't sound too weird. Let's listen back. Entropy. Yeah, we can work with that. We'll take it over to the desk and we'll start trimming the different samples and then putting them together and performing with them. So here we are at the desk. We've still got just under an hour and a half left. So I figure we'll start by trimming all of our samples. And the first one we're gonna trim is that guitar sample. So you might have heard when I played it, I did a little like bop, 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 bop beforehand, so that when I got to the stage where I start trimming, I would know where the sample was going to start. So I'm gonna play it, and as it's playing, I'm gonna hit the mark button where I want it to start, and then again where I want it to end. So I'm gonna hit that. Next, we'll do the bass. So I'm going to start the bass sample. And you could hear the little thumps. So I'm going to start it over again, and I'll get ready with the mark button. Now, as a quick thing, when we trim these samples, like this one for instance, if I hit delete and mark and delete again, it removes everything that is not within that marked region. Now, sample 3 is the drill. I have an idea with that I'm going to explore in just a minute. We're going to skip that one and go to sample 4, which was the ukulele. So like we did before, I'm going to have it start playing. And then I'll hit the... All right, so I started that a little bit late. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the start point back until I get that nice first strum. That sounds good to me. Sorry if you're getting tired of hearing the same explanation, but I'm going to listen for the count in, hit the mark button when I get where I want it to be, and then I will hit it again when I want it to end. So we have 2 more samples to work with. The first one we're going to do is those lower bass chords that we did on the organ, which we'll listen to those, and again, we'll trim them. Record, and it's recording. 1, we're going to come back to the drill. And what I'm thinking of doing with the drill is I'm going to take it and I'm going to copy the same sample, but then reverse that one. And what I will have then is I'll be able to play the drill, have it ramp up, and then have it ramp down and resample those into one thing, which is a lot of terminology, so I think it might be easier if I just do it and you'll see what I mean. So here's our drill. So we've got that. Now I'm going to hit function 1, copy. I want to copy sample 3. I'm just going to copy it to pad 8, and I'll hit record. It copies. Now on here, and what I'll do is I'm going to hit resample. I'll hit record. I'm going to turn off stereo, and I'm going to resample onto pad 9. I'll hit record one more time, and now it's waiting for me to trigger a pad to start resampling. So I'll start with pad 3. All right, so this is a little bit embarrassing, but my camera died while I was recording, adding the effects to the different samples, and unfortunately I didn't notice until a while after while I was editing. So what I'm going to do instead is just sort of give you the rundown of what I did. Because the SP-404 only lets you have one effect active at a time, I took the ukulele and I resampled it with the reverb added. I took the drill and I added a lot of reverb to that and resampled it. And then after that, I just had delay on all the other samples. So we're going to close off with me playing the song for you. Fortunately, I recorded that directly onto my computer, so it's saved. And I want to thank you so much for watching. I want to thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing to help support the channel. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much for continuing to support the channel. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you like the fun, weird ambient song that we made. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you in the next one.